You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV Network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Gene. Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's The Leftovers After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's The Leftovers After Show.
Oh, yeah. Nora is on fire, you guys. There is so much in her life that is just on fire.
Like, that kind of fire.
She's just got all kinds of problems. She's going to a conference. There's protesters. She's getting shot in the chest for fun by hookers. There's an...
I just call that Tuesday.
There's what I'm referring to as the old man and the Wayne, and the ever crazy question 121. So much to go on over today. This is the AFTERBUZZ TV show after show for The Leftovers on HBO. I'm your host Zach Wilson, and joining me on tonight's panel we have
Alana Jordan.
And Kelly McInerny.
Stephaune Wallace couldn't join us tonight, but we're hoping he's well, and we'll have him back next week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss him, but he's not. He's not departed, you guys. Is
he? We haven't heard from him.
He
could have disappeared.
That's true. He could have just vanished,
yeah.
And then we would all have a little orange sticker, like I guess on our shirts because we don't have badges.
Would we? Or does it have to be related to us?
I don't think that the legacy. I don't know what the policy is for legacy.
Well, apparently, the policy is go to Kinko's and make whatever you want.
Yeah. Well, I mean, those badges aren't that complex. I mean, they apparently don't check them enough to get an ID.
Yeah, I did think that was weird. I was like, so wait, anybody could walk up and just be like, yeah, that's me. Yeah. That is horrible security. There's no conference in the world that would let you do that.
Yeah, not to mention, like, I'll let you be on a panel. Like, I get, if, like, you haven't quite met her, I guess she kind of looks like Nora. But, like, I've worked a lot of events where you have to, like, manage, like, people who are, like, celebrities or you're just, like, lesser-known people who are going to be on a panel. They give you a photo sheet. They're like, these are the people. If you see them, you either get them or get me.
They didn't really seem to care that much this conference, though, because she's like, it's fine, you're a guest, it's fine.
Yeah, no, that woman is not doing her job.
Yeah, no, and the panel, they're like, oh, we've never seen each other before or anybody, so I don't know.
Well, I mean, it also would be very boring if they were like, well, we actually checked her credentials, and then this wasn't a plot twist at all.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. But we're not going to
take some liberties.
Yeah. But so when we open this episode, because what really I love about this episode is that it's we get to just focus on one character again. As opposed to like last week and some of the other weeks where we're like bouncing around between like all the different Garveys or like just all the people in the town in like the earlier episodes, like episode 3, which is still by far my favorite.
Me too.
Where we stayed with Matt, we got to just stay with Nora for the whole episode and just get more of her backstory and what she's dealing with in her life. And it really, so we can get to know her. Because up to now, she's just been this like weird shadowy figure in the background with like some like really depressing stories in her life. But now she's a real person. She's a character. She has depth.
And we found out a lot of things like where the gun was, what was the gun for and all that. I don't know. Liked it too.
Yeah. So let's talk about the gun. Because like not only do we open and she's like interviewing the guy again and she's like asking this poor like this gay man who lost his husband, was he suicidal? And you have to figure it's like a touchy subject because it's probably related to the homosexuality. He's eventually convinced to say yes because it's the truth. And there's that woman who's like playing with the kids who Nora's like stalking weirdly.
I'm assuming that is the preschool teacher that he cheated with.
Yeah.
and that she's watching her, then also watching these kids. She used to see her with her children every day, and then also double meaning that's the woman who your husband was having an affair with that you didn't know about until after he was gone. So,
and it's just that, like, which one of those kids' parents are you sleeping with now, you skank? That's what Nora's thinking.
Yeah.
It's not what I'm thinking. And we got some flashes of the family, which was nice. Like, she's dealing with this. That's what she sees every day. She can't help but see their faces, even after the GR took everyone's photos away.
Yeah, and she's still buying in bulk for everyone in the family at the grocery store and just throwing away what she doesn't use, and still as if they're going to come back any day, she's ready.
Yeah.
And that's
the puzzle pieces still left.
Yeah, and it's something we've seen a little bit of in the show, and it's something that people deal with when they lose, especially a child. Is that you see that with a lot of parents letting their kid, like, leaving their kid's room as it was, like letting it get shrine, if you will.
Yeah.
And like we had that house where where everyone disappeared, and the sister's room was just left the way it was. She hasn't changed her routine. She didn't not necessarily the room, but she didn't change her routine, and that included buying milk, eggs, and Lucky Charms cereal.
Which is crazy because it's been 3 years, and she's still doing that and
just tossing it.
Yeah.
Although I did think, like, the milk wasn't open. Did she never need any milk for herself?
I mean, she probably went out to dinner a lot. She's got a bunch of money, obviously.
That's true.
She's paying hookers $3,000 to shoot her.
Yeah, so she calls Angel Escort Service to send her a hooker, and the girl comes in, nice mattress. Is that for us? And we're like, I don't know what kind of stuff Nora's into, but it's probably not that. Yeah. That was the last thing I expected to happen. Shoot me. The girl said, no.
Well, I love that visual, too, of her when she's just laying there for a minute, and then she gasps and wakes up, because it's almost, like, symbolic of her rebirth, her almost wanting to start over and have some sort of, a new life in some way, but it doesn't work. It's just a symbolic gesture that ends up just being a temporary thrill, but she still has this guilt, this loneliness, this emptiness just weighing all the time.
I don't know I wonder if it's a thrill, because it's that sense of, like, being alive, like going to the edge of death is, like, the biggest way to feel alive, or if it's just as Wayne was saying to her towards the end, this is you're seeking out the pain when it starts to go away. You seek it back out to bring it back. She feels guilty that she has any happiness at all. We got a little bit of that from the author, who says, because he's talking about his 8-year-old daughter, and she's like, his daughter looked guilty. Like, is it okay to be happy with all the family gone? And she feels like it's not okay, and so she's like, I have to feel pain. The best way to feel pain: get shot in the chest, I guess. Yeah. I mean, what did you guys think?
Yeah. I guess maybe because she feels like emotional pain, she wants to feel equal, like, physical pain, and maybe that's the amount of emotional pain she's dealing, like, that, like, hard, and I don't know, maybe.
I think she just wants to feel something, like, she just wants a shock to her system. She wants some sort of reset, some sort of something, and she just hasn't found it yet, and she's still, she even freaks out and yells, there's nothing, she just feels nothing. She feels like there's just emptiness ahead, kind of that recurring theme that we keep seeing with the GR of just nothingness, emptiness, white, just absolutely no hope.
And I mean, again, the author of the book was like James Johansson.
Yeah.
He starts talking to her about, and he lost like 4 people, but he's in this, like, he's like smiling, like happy to sign the book, and seems like he's in a good place, and she freaks out at him because, like, he lost 4 people, where she only lost 3, but it was like 2 of them were his parents who were elderly, and he still had a daughter at the very minimum after all this. He had people. She has no one. Matt is the only person even closely, even like in her family that's left, and he's crazy and was kind of a dick recently. But so it's a real struggle for her, I think, to find happiness. And so, what did you guys think of when we met Johansson?
Patrick.
Patrick Johansson. Thank you. Because we see his book like sort of threaded through different points of the episode, but then we meet him and he's not at all what I expected.
No, well, they set it up to be almost a pity party and a who has a worse situation where they say, oh, if you know, when she's checking in, oh, if you really want to cry, that's a tearjerker. He lost 4 people. And she goes, oh, that must be horrible. But clearly she's saying my situation is worse. He's milking it. But at the same time, when she says somebody else has taken her badge and they say, why would anyone want to be you? Well, I lost 3 people. That garners a lot of sympathy. And we've already seen she's been given a lot of money. She's been given a lot of status. She wants to keep her name in the divorce because Nora Durst means something. And it's almost, oh, well, this happened to you. Well, this happened to me. And that's worse. And whose situation is worse? Because that's all that's left is this petty argument of who hurts more.
Yeah, I mean, and I guess that's sort of what this conference felt like it was about was, yeah, there's like somewhat a sense of like, well, we got to get everybody together who's like working on this problem. This isn't like a Comic-Con type convention. This is like a really depressing pseudo-scientific convention where they're talking to people who are involved. It's the DROP convention, the DROP conference.
Departure-related occupations and practices conference. Which just sounds like, oh, God, why?
Yeah, so it's just a gathering of anybody who works in the field of the Departed. I guess they couldn't call the show The Departed. They had to call it The Leftovers. But so there's just a lot of people gathering for this. And when she first gets there, we get the protesters outside, which I thought that was a fantastic little touch, was showing that, like, this isn't, like, people don't just let these people do what their thing is. They essentially, I think they see them as like grief profiteers.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, look at the one guy. He makes dolls, like
Marcus,
people
who does the loved ones
the
dolls
loved
for $40,000.
Yeah.
Good God, that's a lot of money for something you're gonna bury in the ground.
And they're really creepy. Like, I got to see them at Comic-Con.
Creepy.
They had them on display. And, like, I couldn't get it off my email in time for this panel, but I'll post it on my Twitter. Because they mocked up a version of, like, this is what your head would look like if you were made into a loved one. It's so creepy. It's not at all accurate, but it's really, really creepy.
Yeah.
And it's hysterical. But so I copied down a few of the protesters' signs because I thought it was really interesting what was on there. Because we have, at first it was bring them back, and never forget, like some of the ones you would expect, heaven or hell, we are left in purgatory. I thought it was an interesting theory. So with Damon Lindelof on, it's like I started thinking about like Lost again, and like everybody forever was like, oh, they're in purgatory. That's where they are. What if the leftovers are the ones in purgatory?
Maybe.
And this world we see is just the waiting ground.
Limbo.
Yeah, this is limbo.
It would fit with the whole nothingness theme that they keep bringing up.
Like, don't waste your breath. Like, if we're all in purgatory, then it's like done with.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's Family today. So Tomorrow's Family, that other cult, was there. We saw a bunch of GR members in the crowd. So that was our first sign that the GR is not just in... Like, it's a much bigger organization. I was starting to think, like, that Patty might be, like... She could still theoretically be...
Well, didn't Tommy see...
Tommy saw a few, but that was just, like, one, like, little small area. They could have been traveling or something.
Last week they were talking, too, when Garvey called Agent Delaney or whatever, and he is talking to him, and he says, you know, we can make the GR go away. It's obviously a problem that they've had nationally.
Well, that's not... He's not even just talking about the GR, because he's just talking about cults in general. Like, they're just going after all of them. So I wasn't sure how big the GR, but now we see that they're in Manhattan, that they're at this event, that they're, like... They're not protesting, but just like reminding people. But there's like a whole bunch of them. We see like a field of white at one point. And then there was one that was actually just a Bible verse, just 20:31. So I looked it up, and it's John 20:31. But these are written that ye might believe that Jesus is the Christ, the Son of God, and that believing ye might have life through his name. So like just the idea that you could have life through God's name is what that was. I'm basically like pulling out these like all these times. Like I wonder if there's any clues hidden in there.
Yeah.
And I thought that, and then another one, the World Health Organization did it. They basically pointing like the World Health Organization is behind it, and the dude with the Pope one. There's a lot of cool signs, like a lot of crazy people in that crowd. He's just dressed up as the Pope. He's in my basement. He's not dead. I mean, I guess it would be the best time to like run away from a major responsibility if you wanted to.
Yeah.
You're like, I don't want to be the Pope anymore. Oh, a lot of people just disappeared. Bye. I'm gonna go hide in this random dude's basement in Manhattan.
Sounds like a plan.
I mean, does that verse say anything to you guys?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Not really. Maybe it will in the future. Maybe it is a clue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the idea that putting your faith in like a name, believe that God might have life, that you might have life through his name, made me think a little bit about Wayne. Because how much people put faith in just him and like what he does and who he is.
Yeah.
And he sort of announces in this thing that he's gonna die. But we'll get into Wayne in a little bit because that was shocking when he showed up. So we'll talk about it at length. But so the conference, like she goes in and she meets she meets Marcus at this little party. Marcus is a weird dude.
He's a very unusual man. Well, he looks like a Ken doll, first of all.
90s hair,
He's
rocking.
very styled. Yeah, very like Zach Morris-esque.
Yeah.
Ask me what I do. Ask me what I do.
You don't want to know.
And everyone's like, you asshole,
everyone knows his pickup line, and everybody knows that that's his thing that clearly works.
Yeah.
And over because it's become his catchphrase almost. But then I love how Nora handles him.
I know. I love her personality of just like not caring about, and then even she has no filter. I feel like because I think she's so used to this power with her name that she just says like when she saw Kevin and she's like fuck your daughter, like
yeah. I love
she just
that.
has no filter, and she doesn't even realize it sometimes.
I just love her whole demeanor and how she just kind of has that attitude of she lives in her own world now. She's already lost everything. What else does she have to lose? She can just say and do whatever she wants. Yeah. And with Marcus, she plays along because she understands his game and that it's a game, and then she tries to beat him at it and does. And his friends are all making fun of him when she's making out with his weird
doll.
That was
creepy.
That was so hysterical because like she drops like ecstasy or something.
Oh, I wrote it. Well, actually, the writer from Kath Lingenfelter, she said it's Arivisa, the post-departure version of Xanax, major sponsor of Drop.
All right.
Tweeted.
So antidepressants are sponsoring the conference.
Yeah.
That's not depressing at all.
That would make sense for this super sad conference.
Yeah. I mean, they come up with a name for it, like basically like PTSD. They have a post-departure delusion disorder.
I love that when they're talking about like the figures emerging, after the tragedy with prophetic powers. I just feel like that's just definitely alluding to things.
Oh yeah. Well, it's a huge problem. But let's talk about the party because the party is so ridiculous. They're dropping pills, futuristic Xanax, and this is real now. He's talking about the doll. Like all these people work in the field. They don't know that she's one of the people at this point. They just keep calling her guest.
Yeah.
Nobody asks her.
Like
her name.
Nobody cares anymore. Even like they don't even care about your name, and that's why I feel like that's why they're partying, because it's like who cares? Let's just act like kids
I mean, this was the adult version of the party we got early on.
Yeah.
That the kids, I mean, they're not burning anybody because they're slightly more sane than the kids are, but they, this is them just acting out. Like, they're like, screw it, what's the point? Like, yeah, we're at a professional conference, but why bother? We're just gonna drop pills and like see what happens next. And this one guy's just like, yeah, I'm gonna hit on people. I'm gonna show off my my creepy doll that cost $40,000.
Yeah, those loved one dolls are just weird. They're every time we see them, they're creepy. The BJ and they see is the creepiest though, with just all of them strewn across the road terrifyingly.
Well, and in this one, Nora sort of like connects to the idea, I think, and he firmly believes that what he's doing is right. He doesn't think he talks about supply and demand, like that's more of like the money side of it. But I think he's seeing it as like people need this, people want this in their life.
He feels that he's providing closure, just like she feels like she's providing a service too. She says, "I like giving people money. That's why she's doing it." But at the same time, it shows that's not enough. They're not really. There is no closure. There is no true end because it's the ambiguous loss that they keep bringing up. It's a loss, but it's not fully realized because you don't know what if they do come back. You have that optimism.
Yeah, it's that like if you like on a much smaller scale, like if you're breaking up with somebody and they're like, well, we need to go on a break. And it's like you can't start mourning a loss that you haven't gotten yet. You don't know. And like even with the divorce, they say like you know that like when she's divorcing her departed husband because they sort of have to create a new system for it. Like he could come back. We don't know. If he does, this is legally binding. You are divorced if he comes back. And she's like, well, he cheated on me with the preschool teacher. So, and the judge is like, oh damn, divorced. She like bangs her gavel. Divorced. Do you want to change your name? And she doesn't.
Because she doesn't want to lose that power that she has.
Yeah, the name Nora Durst has sway.
Which maybe, you know, when you're talking about the Bible quote and it says the power in his name, put your faith in his name, she still has her faith all in her own name. Nora Durst is her identity. Nora Durst is this iconic figure who is representative of the mourning, of the loss, because she literally lost everyone close to her. But she doesn't have faith in anything else. She only has faith in her own power, in her own name, to the point that she feels that she has to go and create her credentials and come back to a place that she's already been kicked out of, that they escorted her out of the hotel for being Nora Durst, thinking that she was...
Yeah, I mean, at first she kind of thinks that it could be something, like, she's like, it was an accident. Somebody took the wrong badge. And then, like, that person, like, threw a bottle through a mirror, apparently, behind the bar. And they go into her room in, like, 4 a.m. Do hotels do that? Like, if something like that, I would think they would just, like, put it on the bill.
I would think if they felt that somebody was belligerent and a possible threat. I mean, if you're throwing a... the public bar, throwing a beer bottle at a mirror, that could shatter, that could hurt the bartender. You're a threat at that point. So I could definitely see why they would escort her out, but it's her name betrays her, and that's really the first time I think that's happened. And so that even though I feel like it was almost anticlimactic, it just being that woman that's like, I don't like this conference, I don't like anything about you.
But you could tell that she was bummed out that it wasn't about her. Like she wanted that girl to steal her name because she thought that girl wanted to be her, just her,
right?
Not not just a person in the conference, you know, that was on a panel. She wanted it. She wanted that drama because she's very like she loves that power.
Mapleton, she is the figure.
Yeah.
And then on this grander scale, she's not. She's running into Patrick. She's running into these other people that other people are acknowledging as
bigger and better, yeah. More sad and
the bigger loser, I guess, in the situation, which is kind of sad that that's all she has to hold on to. And then
It's this crazy protester, essentially, who, like, faked her, like, stole her identity for the weekend.
But then, you know, I love how it leads back to Wayne, where they say, do you want to know what happened to Patrick? Do you want to know why he can feel that release when you feel that that's an impossibility?
Yeah, because at the conference, we saw this, like, old, like, really tall, really, like, creepy, yeah, like, but he's just, like, his very white hair that, like, is the exact same tone as his, like, really pale skin. Almost like he's like, what can I do for you?
I thought he was gonna play with her insides when he brought her back to his place.
Creepy.
Yeah.
Do you want to feel this way? No. She's like, well, she says yes. She's so angry about it. She just, like, doesn't want people calling her out like that. She's used to seeing the GR around her town, and she's like, yes, I want to feel this way. Back off. So she's very abrasive to it until he kind of says, like, I can explain to you why Patrick is the way he is. After she explodes that on him at the bar.
And that curiosity is worth $1,000 to her. She has no idea. And I love
She's so rich, though. That's why. Yeah.
Yeah, if she could just throw it, like, she's like, here's $2,000 to shoot me in the chest with a gun. Can you make it 3?
All right.
Yeah, that's fine. She just has cash around. It's like,
I did love the visual of down the hallway too, like almost the path to enlightenment with the bright light at the end.
Yeah.
It was a very, like, abandoned feeling apartment that they, like, are hiding in what people have left behind in a way. Like, it's not, like, a great place. And there's just this one dude with a laptop, very bare. He's just like, sign it to PayPal. You can see.
It's like so even like then it's just like all about money. Wayne doesn't even care anymore about helping.
I don't give a shit about you.
Yeah, I got your money. Let's just hug and be done with it. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I wonder, to a certain point, it might not even be about the money for Wayne. I mean, obviously they need the money and they're, like, trying to get a lot of cash, but it could almost be you have to really want it to get in that room, because $1,000 is, like, that's a big number. Like, you have to really want to be in there for one reason or another.
Wayne it's not even says a little foreshadowing is, I've seen my own death and it's coming soon.
Yeah, well, we know that he's got some dark stuff that he's, like, prophecies he's seeing, which is as they talk about in the speech, like, this is a plague of people. Like, it's not just, like, the cults. Like, all these people have this, like, PDDD disorder, and they're becoming megalomaniacs. They're burning down towns. They're convincing people to join their cults. And Wayne himself, like, whether he has a power or not, I don't know. At this point, do you guys think he has a power? Because we see her cry on his shoulder, and then she clearly feels better at the end of the episode.
I don't know. I feel like he does, but maybe they just need a good cry.
I feel like a lot of it is placebo effect.
Yeah.
They just want that release. They want to be told it's okay to feel okay so badly that having him say, here, this is a magical thing. I'm going to take all your pain away. Now you don't have to feel guilty for not having pain. I took it.
Yeah.
You know, so I almost feel, because we do see at the very end when she gets her first note, question 121, do you believe that your loved ones are in a better place? And they say no, and then you see that look on her face where it's almost like she's considering that for the first time and almost realizing that pain.
Yeah, because I do agree. I think that's somewhat of a placebo effect, but there's something about her attitude, the way she was asking question 121, and I love that they didn't give it to us at the top.
Yeah.
Like, because I'm saying, what's the question? I even, like, went back and paused it. Like, what's the question? Oh, you bastards, you left it out of focus. And they, so yeah, in your opinion, is The Departed in a better place? And now she gets her first no. So is it a whole thing just subconscious? That's sort of what it reads to me, and that's, I think, what the writers want us to feel, is that sense of, like, I don't know if this is real or not. I don't know, like, the only, like, supernatural thing that we have so far on this show is just the people that departed. The people are gone. We don't know that Wayne has any powers. We've seen some creepy stuff. We've seen some like animal prophecies and things, but nothing.
We know
concrete.
something's going on, but it's so cryptic as to what it is.
It could all be coincidence, though.
But it seems like way too much to be coincidence. I feel too like the post-departure delusion disorder is almost. It almost makes me wonder, because we're seeing Kevin and Matt and other people start to have these prophecies. If we're seeing the beginning stages of somebody who has that, and Wayne is full blown to the end, if it's almost a fortuitous, this is going to be a short-lived situation for you. You're going to have these prophecies, and then you're going to see your own death, and then it's going to happen.
I wonder if it's that like more people are like, whatever Wayne's power, whatever he got like at the start of this, if it's going to sort of spread now that he's like saying like we've reached this point at 3 years, like if now it's going to be a bunch of people dealing with like all getting power, like Chief Garvey's got it, and who knows where it could go with all that. Do you guys have any other thoughts on this episode? Any other stuff, anything that stood out to you?
I mean, I just think that it was a very well-crafted episode, but I just want to see some more visuals, like there were on 2 boats and a helicopter.
I'm surprised she didn't have any dreams or
anything.
anything.
I felt this was close, but I felt like it was almost too literal for me. I love when this show balances the metaphorical with the literal, and I felt like this one was just very on the literal side.
Yeah, it's showing us just like her day, essentially. Like we walked through her life. I'm looking forward to, I know that we're not going to necessarily get answers per se, but the idea of like, I want to be like hinted at more.
We'll get more pieces of that puzzle.
Yeah, and like, so I mean, who knows where this puzzle is. Let's move into predictions.
All right.
And now your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
And then we'll close with the news stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because I forgot. But let's just talk predictions, because we got the preview, which was really cool. We saw the mayor possibly hiding. Dad's on the loose. Daddy Garvey has left the building, and he's running around town. He's nuts.
That may be again showing us more kind of what trajectory Kevin's headed in as well. Just all these people who are getting these prophecies, who are getting these powers of sorts, are kind of going crazy. What's gonna be their demise?
He's shouting, "Don't wake up! Go back to don't let yourself go back to sleep." Like the idea that people are asleep or just not aware of what's going on around them, and like is he one of these megalomaniac fanatics that has just become deluded, and he's just not about forming a cult, or they like locked him away because he's older. He never got a following. Maybe he's like Wayne, like you say. Who knows? And we know that Chief Garvey's heading down. Young Chief Kevin. Yeah. It's getting very confusing with the multiple Chief Garveys running around now. I'm not gonna be able to call him Chief anymore. Kevin is. What was I gonna say? Kevin is. He might be headed down the same path. We know that he's dealing with that kind of stuff. So what do you guys think? Predictions?
I think that Nora's gonna forgive Matt. It has nothing to do with the chief running around. My prediction should just say that, because I have really no idea what's gonna happen. Maybe there probably will be more visions, I feel like, or maybe we'll see what's going on inside his head. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, Matt, he says like, I've made some changes to my life. Yeah. And it's not just, I don't think he's just talking about the money. Something is different. I want to know what's up, Matt. I want to know what is up.
Yeah. And I think Amy tries to sleep with, or does sleep with, Kevin, because...
Oh, yeah, we saw that little thing. Do you not remember last night?
Yeah.
Ugh, that little minx. She's gonna be causing problems, and just when he's got a date with Nora,
I know,
he's on a good path.
Yeah,
Amy.
I like that.
Leave him alone. All right, I'm getting the wrap up symbol, so Let's wrap it up. Elena, where can the people find you if they want to keep in touch with you?
You can find me on Twitter at Alana Jordan, and also if you're in LA, you can catch me at the Comedy Store this Saturday, 7:30.
Cool. My name's Kelly McInerny. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at HollyWeirdo.
And you guys can catch me on Twitter and Instagram at @ZachWilson. That's ThatZachWilson. And also here at AfterBuzz, I'm doing Dominion, The Strain, and on Mondays, if you like cooking, I'm doing MasterChef. I'm Zach Wilson, and thanks for geeking out with us.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.
Thank you for watching AfterBuzz TV on YouTube. For more of your favorite after shows and interviews, subscribe to our channel here, and be sure to share your opinion on the episode in the comment section below here. We'd love to see what you guys are buzzing about. Thanks again. Buzz you later.